Cassie shouldn't have stayed. The video of Diddy beating Cassie was just simple battery. It's been too long ago. She's just gold digging. That's just a few comments that we've heard in this sexual assault and battery case. I want to talk to the victims for just a minute. No one has the right to tell you how to feel, whether you're in a crisis or a challenge, or you're a loved one witnessing someone go through this. I want you to know that the sadness and betrayal and injustice and heartbreak are all a part of a bigger plan to get victims and onlookers to open up in new ways of being. This is why I say this. Unfortunately, there are thousands of Cassies and Diddies in the world. Some of us have that very spirit, if you would. Some of us have that same personality living in our homes or around us or in our communities, in our churches, in the workplace, in our schools. That same kind of way of being is a low vibrational way of being. And so, what I submit to you is, are we evolving? Are we going to stay the same? We witness others in pain and humiliation and we laugh about it. We often criticize it. But I'm just going to ask now those who are onlookers, how are you handling your crisis and challenges? Sometimes these crises are deep rooted, they're a part of the dark night of the soul. And that's something that I wanted to talk to you about. The dark night of the soul is something that I've experienced many of times. It's family dysfunction, it's friendships, it's betrayal, it's love relationships, it's messy divorces, it's crises at work, career, being isolated, it's your inner child wounds, it's stepping into your purpose. The dark night of the soul, just take a journey with me. It's a walk alone. It's a period of time where you feel misunderstood, criticized, laughed at, often ostracized. Sometime along that walk, you're humiliated. And depending on the circumstances, some people don't survive it. The dark night of the soul is a long, arduous walk. It can often be frustrating and in times depressing. Sometimes it feels like a prison. It feels like you're a prisoner in your own mind and heart. It could be hell on earth. The dark night of the soul is oftentimes opportunity to do self-reflection. And it's a hope that you only feel deep in your belly when all else that you knew falls away. Over time, you feel this nightmare is lifting and you're thinking you're breaking free just a little bit and you get a little excited and you might even tell some friends and family, but then you find out that your hopes are dashed. Another way that I think about it is like walking in a deep, dark forest where even the moonlight doesn't give you much illumination along your path. And along with that, there's this thick, dense fog. And yes, you can run into trees, you can even walk off the cliff. You have no idea from step to step whether it's a safe step, whether it's an encouraging step, but you still walk because you know you can't stay there. So you have to keep going. That's the dark night of the soul. It's a place, honestly, where there's no one but you and whatever you serve. Hopefully, it's God. But that's all that's there. Everyone else has either distanced themselves from you or you have distanced yourself from them. People no longer believe in what you're doing or believe in you. And it's a walk with God. That's the dark night of the soul. No one is exempt from this. Your sheroes, your heroes, your famous icons, your celebrities, the rich that you don't even know about until they're written in the news, the poorest of the poor, whether you're good or bad, your best friends, your religious figures, no one is exempt from the dark night of the soul. Why is that? I believe it's a natural law that we all must walk to decide who we are becoming. I believe that during the dark night of the soul, we make a series of choices, whether to survive, first of all, and then how to survive. We find resilience, we find tenacity, we find peace, believe it or not, in the middle of chaos. All of those are self reflections of who we're becoming. And if we're steadfast and we keep walking and we learn to build our intuition, soon we find our way out of that dense fog and deep, dark forest. Now, how do you get there? It's a part of life. I believe it's a way for us to decide how we are going to be as human beings, whether we are going to serve ourselves or serve others, whether we are going to add to our society, our families, the world, or if we're going to take away from it. I believe that it's a personal choice no matter what school, how much money you have in the bank, whether you work or not work, whether you've raised a family or not. I believe that every single human being has a choice to become a better human being. As a collective, we see a spectacle in the newspaper or we hear some gossip, and it's really easy to fall into that gossip and point fingers and laugh if we think it's funny or mock someone else's pain. But I'm here to challenge you. Are we evolving? How are we handling our own pain? Even that pain and chaos that nobody sees except you when you lock the doors of your home and you're alone. Are you dealing with those challenges? I want you to know that I have a sign up list of master classes that I'm doing for wellness. They are relationship master classes, workplace master classes, and master classes for mom. And I know, guys, I know that you're going to say, well, what about the dads? There's so many qualified men, leaders, thought leaders out there who are much more qualified to talk directly to men. I'm not exempting you. You can absolutely participate, and we'd love to see you in the Relationship Wellness Masterclass. So, my sign up list is open. You can join in one or all three. It's completely up to you. I'll announce the date and time once we get to minimum capacity. So, until then, I invite you to check out the My Spirit Fitness Wellness Moments and also On and Off the Mic with Felèsha Love. Both are made available to empower you toward personal and professional growth and success. I'm Felèsha Love, your lifestyle wellness strategist, bringing some of these top tips right to your front door, sprinkled with some tools to help you reduce stress, increase clarity, and gain a little confidence to tackle some of these everyday challenges that we have in work, life, and love. It all happens right here. When you're in the dark night of the soul, you're constantly looking for it to stop. You're looking for a breakthrough, a realization, or someone to save you. And I'm here to tell you there's no one to save you. You have to save yourself. And the way to do that is to educate yourself, look for more empowerment opportunities, feed yourself more of what you need to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. And when you do that, it cultivates a spark, like as though you were camping. That spark is the passion coming back, the knowledge that's settling in, that's bringing forth your confidence. That spark can be ignited into a bigger flame, a flame of healthy passion that'll push you forward and out of those challenges and chaos in your life. Be careful of the people that you surround yourself with because they can stump on that fire, that spark, blow out the flame, And then you have to start all over again. But again, you have to do this yourself. It comes from within, deep within your soul, nurturing your intuition, building it up stronger and stronger. And that's what leads you out of the chaos, circumstances, the challenges in life. I wish I had this information when I was a young adult. There's so much I would have been able to jump over, especially faster. But I'm here to help those of you who are interested to accelerate your way through some of these circumstances by just sharing my knowledge. And what worked for me may work for you. And if it doesn't, it's at least more information so that you can kind of do a comparison and contrast. And maybe the information is enough to at least inspire you to keep going. You know, sometimes you feel jerked around, you feel misled, you feel almost delusional to think that you can get your life back on track or have that great relationship or that wonderful career. Sometimes the only thing that you can do is pray. It seems very simple, but it's so powerful. Praying and also believing in yourself. And whatever you do, keep going because it can't last forever. The dark night of the soul is a breakdown, a death, if you would, of who we were and a rebirth of who we are becoming. And with every breath and every decision, we're making that new being 2.0, 10.0, depending on the choices that we're making along the way. To believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. Invest in yourself. Invest any way that you can. If you have the money to invest in yourself, then find classes and courses and groups, books. Um, Find ways to feed your soul through positive, influential music and movies and entertainment and speakers and teachers. I know for me, I had to pour into myself. I had to find ways to nurture myself. And sometimes, if you don't have the money to do hair and makeup and nails and buy new clothes or new toys or travel, it has to come from deep within. But I submit to you that even those who have all the money in the world to do all of those fantastic things, there's still a space within that's void. It's still there. So you don't get around it just because you have money or because you don't have money. All of us have that realization that we must face. Somehow, no matter how hurtful a relationship is, or a betrayal, or something devastating that might have happened to you through a loss, it's amazing how the heart can feel so much deep, excruciating, relentless pain. Yet, when we do the work, nurturing things that we need in mind, body, and spirit, it fortifies us, it makes us stronger. And eventually the heart opens up. It doesn't close. If the heart is closing because you've been hurt or because life didn't treat you well or because you felt like you've been dealt a bad hand, you haven't done the work. Don't be mad at me or be mad at me, but you haven't done the work. You know you've done the work when those horrible things that you've had to army crawl your way through has left your heart open, open to love, open to help someone else, open to learn more, open to try again, but this time wiser. So you might ask, what is the work? What kind of work is she talking about? I'm talking about self reflection, self love, forgiveness, inner child wounding that you're unpacking, shadow work. There's no one under the sun that's just good. We have both in us, somewhere, somehow. We have tendencies of being bad or evil. The question is, which one are you feeding? If you're feeding the evil, then that's the life you get to lead. If you're feeding the good, then that's the comfort and peace and contentment you have within your soul, knowing that you did your best, regardless of the outcome. So, the self work that I'm talking about includes therapy, it includes forgiveness, which is a tough one to do, but necessary. It also encompasses healing and counseling and understanding how you self sabotage and um, figuring out ways to build a stronger foundation from which to thrive in mind, body, and spirit. How do you know you've healed? Well, that's a tough one. But I think the quickest way to know is whatever hurt you in the past, whatever made you angry in the past, you're no longer reactive, but you can find in your heart, man, that hurt. But I've already forgiven it. I've forgiven the circumstance. I've forgiven myself for playing a part in it. And sometimes you get to the point where you can forgive the other person. And in that, that's where the peace and contentment comes from, the grace, the light in your eyes that radiates the entire room. That's the kind of forgiveness that sometimes rubs people the wrong way because your light often, depending on the company that you keep, will irritate someone else's demons. So be cognizant of that as well. But you're living your life to thrive. You're not living your life to please someone else. Do your work and do it well. I'm Felèsha Love. I'm here to support you in any way that I can to bring you some of my experiences and some tips and tools that I've learned along the way. I've read so many books. I've been to tons of conferences and I've really invested in myself to figure this thing out. And some of my approaches might be unconventional. So, for those who resonate with it, you'll be blessed by it. And for those who are willing to have an open mind, you'll be blessed by it. So, go ahead and sign up. And as soon as my wait list fills up, I will announce the date and time of the next Wellness Masterclass. Until then, live a life of gratitude. Be a survivor. Surround yourself by people, places, and things that nurture your mind, body, and spirit. And do the work to evolve as a human being. If you don't, like one of my friends mentioned, if you don't resolve this, it'll just come back in different clothes, right? If we don't evolve, we'll keep having relationships with the same types of people that hurt us and that rub us the wrong way, or those that we have a trauma bond with. And all of those are toxic experiences. Until we evolve, we can't experience a healthy relationship and appreciate it, right? Because you can have one right in front of your face and not even want anything to do with that person because they rub you the wrong way. They shine a light on all of those traumas and unhealed places within us, right? Have you ever had a relationship like that? I certainly have. So, by evolving, you know a healthy relationship. You strive toward having one. And you know when a person is unhealed or they have traumas. Otherwise, we repeat this in our intimate relationships. We repeat it in a workplace. We repeat it generationally with our children and our families. Are you ready to do the work? We can't afford to stay the same. I'm Felèsha Love, your lifestyle wellness strategist, bringing some of these top tips right to your front door, sprinkled with some tools to help you reduce stress, increase clarity, and gain a little confidence to tackle some of these everyday challenges that we have in work, life, and love. It all happens right here. I have some tips and tools in my book, Brave Leap to Freedom, Integrating Mind, Body, Spirit to Cultivate Healthy Relationships. And I took great care to make sure that people could see themselves within the book. I give you examples of what a toxic relationship is so that you can relate to it. And then I also share with you some tools to cultivate a healthier lifestyle in mind, body, and spirit. Because when we're going through these traumas or when we're in the middle of chaos and discord, it's very difficult to stay balanced, to have the kind of strength and confidence and certainty to know what your next move is, what your next step is, to create a life that you really want, as opposed to going with the flow and finding yourself in a spiral of chaos. And that's what society does. We find ourselves in a spiral of chaos because we don't have much contrast out there. And the contrast is that there is a healthier way, a healthier lifestyle. And it's not to say that you have to live this way or otherwise you go to hell. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is getting you to the next level in life of feeling more confident, feeling more love, feeling more gratitude, and learning how to stand in your truth, realize your purpose, and thrive in that passionate purpose. We all have one. This one's mine.
Standing tall when she's knocked down. Living life with wisdom and power. She's the change on your airwaves. Tune in, she got something to say. Yeah. Felèsha Love, 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 show. Felèsha Love, 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 show. Felèsha Love, 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 show. Felèsha Love, 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 show. Felèsha Love show.
I'm Felèsha Love, your lifestyle wellness strategist. I'll see you soon and be well.